Hello lads, Slord Slaria. It's been a while since my last video. I've had a lot of exams and coursework over the last couple of months, so hasn't really been much time or much energy really to put my focus on a video. I've even found at some points during all of this coursework and stuff, my interest in Doctor Who has just waned. Like I've kind of just been like, oh, I can't even think of anything to say really. And then the moment my coursework finished, I still had some exams left, but my coursework was over and there was only 2 exams and they weren't as bad as the coursework. And I put on some Big Finish when I was travelling over to see a friend, and he kind of really just went, oh yeah, no, I've been missing this. I really have been missing Doctor Who. And this particular audio in question was the War Master box set 2, The Master of Callus. And that really inspired me to make this video, because I kind of had an epiphany while listening to that particular audio. Derek Jacobi might just be my favourite master. And it's very difficult to unseat Roger Delgado, and I'm still not saying he is my favourite master, but my god, he's actually challenging Delgado. So let's go on a bit of history lesson. So we all remember, back in Series 3, when we had Derek Jacobi playing, oh god, what's his name, Professor Yarn in Utopia, and then it was revealed that he was actually the master, and then we get this really sinister, vicious master for about 2 minutes until he's shot and regenerates straight away into John Sim. And well, I've talked about that enough in the past. If you really want to know my opinion, if you don't already, go and watch my John Sim retrospective, as everything I have to say about his master is in that video. But I always felt, I know a lot of other fans, especially Classic Who fans, felt that we really could have got so much more with Derek Jacobi, because he's a brilliant actor. I love him in other programmes such as I, Claudius, and he's in lots of great films as well. And there's so much potential for him to make an amazing master. Unfortunately, Big Finish, as they do, have managed to pick this up, and it has become one of my favourite mini-series that they've done. And they're consistently putting out box sets now, and it's really, really good. It's something that's really good to see, because a lot of the Big Finish spin-offs, not really my thing, like Jago and Lightfoot, not too keen on that, New Unit, but the War Master stuff is really exciting. It's an idea that I've always thought would be a good one, just to have stories where it's from the Master's perspective, it's just the Master travelling around and being a bastard, and the Doctor isn't even there, or maybe the Doctor turns up for one episode, and because it's just interesting to see things from that other perspective. And I think maybe the Time War allows that a bit more, because obviously the Master is sometimes doing things, for good, quote unquote, although all the morality in these audios is a bit nebulous, which obviously is something I like. And it kind of, it gives it that, it's like the Doctor and the Master are technically on the same side at this point in history, so you can kind of see why it's got more of a point of departure. It means that the Master isn't just going to be full-on antagonist, and he's actually going to have in some cases, some kind of protagonist elements that are kind of ruined by his complete absence of morals. So let's dive into some of the things that I really like about this Master, and then maybe discuss some of the stories he's been in the first 2 sets so far. This is recorded and probably released before the next box set, which comes out next month in July, which I will definitely be buying. So what I really like about his Master is the manipulation element is very much turned up. With some of the new Who Masters, I don't really buy when they try to manipulate people, often because they just go a bit silly and it's a bit, And obviously Anthony Ainley's Master was very silly as well. But with Delgado and Ainley, it was always like kind of, hypnotising people. And, that's all well and good, and it became a bit of a cliche in a lot of Masters, like I am the Master and you will obey me. But with Derek Jacobi's Master, he does something a lot more interesting. Rather than just possessing people, he goes out of his way and spends years of his life building trust, building relationships, being there for people, pretending to be nice, to the point where you think, oh my god, he's changed, he's a better person now, and all these people love him. Only, even if it's been years, just to turn around and say, no. I don't actually care about you. I've been manipulating you the whole time, and my nefarious deed that I've been after has been gained. And it's just like, ooh, it's so much more evil in such a more interesting way than the previous masters. And the funny thing is, he's often doing things that are almost like, ends justify the means type of thing. I mean, obviously I'm not saying that I think ends justify the means in even many situations, because often when people say, ends justify the means, they're usually trying to justify doing something very horrible. But the point is, he's kind of, he's doing things often to, defeat the Daleks, which, obviously are the greatest threat in the Time War. But he's doing them in such horrible, nasty ways. And it's that manipulation element that is in Derek Jacobi's master more than any other master, which I particularly love. And I think it works so much with him because he has much less of the obviously evil kind of acting style that obviously Delgado and Ainley have. And then also, not only is the writing better, but I think even the acting's better than John Sim or Michelle Gomez. And he can really come across just, I'm just a sweet old man, and he really isn't. But it's just that quality of acting in the way that he can just go from completely sweet, completely lovable, completely somebody you can trust to help you and save you and be there for you, just instantly, just a flick a switch, just like that. And he's abandoned you, or he's now killing you. And it's just like, even though when you've listened to a lot of the audience, you know it's coming, but you still can't see it coming. You really, I'm not joking, in The Master of Callous, which I suppose maybe I'm somewhat spoiling it by talking about it like this, but whatever, we know the Master's not a nice man. But we're listening to it, I was thinking, oh my god, is he actually, being nice here? Is he actually developing a real relationship with these people? And it's like, no, the rug is swept out from under your feet, and it's just like, oof, really, really nasty. And I think that's what really makes his master so much more entertaining and better developed, I suppose you could say, as a character, much more interesting to watch. And I just love it. I'm just really, really into it. I hope these box sets never end. So let's go through a few of the stories now and kind of discuss. So the 2 box sets so far. So the first one was called Only the Good. And that was more or less 4 different stories, but with a slight relation to each other. Whereas The Master of Callous was more or less just one big story in 4 episodes. And I definitely preferred the style of The Master of Callous because it was able to tell something on a more grand scale, but there's still something to be said for the other box set because my favourite episode with Jacobi is definitely one of the ones from set 1. So it was not set 1. Beneath the Viscoid was the first one, by Nicholas Briggs, I believe, and it was alright. It kind of was just kind of establishing Derek Jacobi's master, I think, more than anything, because obviously when he's only been on screen for 2 minutes prior to this, you do need to introduce him, and it's very much just an introductory story. Now, I'm always of the opinion that there shouldn't be a story that exists purely to introduce somebody. Just make a longer story so you can introduce and have a good story in its own right. In the same way that I'd say, even though the 11th Hour is a good regeneration story, I don't think it's a very good story. You could do something like Power of the Daleks, where it's not only really good introducing the new Doctor, it's also a brilliant story in general, but that's neither here nor there, so it's an okay story. There's not really much to say about it other than it introduces Derek Jacobi. It introduces him very well, don't get me wrong, and it's enjoyable, but, So the second one, kind of similar to the first one, the box set's still finding its feet, really, and this is when they introduced the Master's companion, I suppose you could call him. I've forgotten his name, which is really bad, because I actually really like the character, and especially where they go with him in the next story. But, it's another alright one. Derek Jacobi, of course, is very enjoyable in it, but again, not much happens. Although the purpose of this episode is very much more to set the stage of the whole Time War, which I think, it was necessary, but you could have told a more interesting story while fulfilling this purpose, maybe. But it's not bad. Again, it's not bad. It's just not remarkable. Now, I know I've been praising this series of the High Heavens, and the first 2 episodes not too hot, but trust me, it gets better from here. And the best is the next one, the one which really, really got me into this series, what was making like, right, I'm definitely getting the next set, and that is The Skyman by James Goss. It is beautiful. It is one of the best Big Finish releases, especially of recent years. It's honestly one of the nastiest Doctor Who stories you'll ever listen to or see or whatever. And it's not in the sense that there's lots of wanton violence, because there isn't. It's just what the story tells, the story being told, and the way it just absolutely crushes any kind of optimism or hope for life inside of you. It really is that horrible, but it's a brilliantly done message. I'm not going to spoil it, because it's something that needs to be experienced for yourself, but the message is something that will really stick in your mind and make you feel as, yeah, this is how it all starts, isn't it? It's such a good one. So many good characters. The Master's Companion really gets a good outing in it, and the message is just simply amazing. And the Master's not really the focus of this episode even. Derek Jacobi's still in it, and he still does a good performance. He makes wine for most of the episode, actually. But this is where the Master's Companion really shines in this brilliant story. But I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil any of it. This is one which you just need to go in not really knowing what you're going to get and just experiencing it, because it is outstanding. And so the fourth one in the set, the kind of culminations of the set, I forgot the name of it actually, but either way, it was a good one. Another one which, I don't know, it was quite good. Yeah, it didn't blow me away like the Skyman did. I suppose it's difficult to surpass those kind of expectations when they did race to that level, but it was still a really good story, and yeah, definitely started to show that very manipulative side of this Master, which we'd see a lot more in the next set. And so set one was really good. Every story was enjoyable, and it was all worth it for the Skyman. It's absolutely all worth it for the Skyman. But then we get on to set 2, the Master of Callus, and this is where it just, the quality just goes, ooh. I mean, I know some people preferred the first set, but for me it was definitely the second set, because it's all set on one planet, and it develops this one story over the course of 4 episodes, which I think, more Big Finish box sets should do, because our stories are all well and good, but with Doctor Who, especially on audio, you need more time to tell your story, to fully develop it, and when you've got this much time and this much creative freedom that the audio format provides, you can really do a lot with a bit of creativity, and there is definitely a lot of creativity put into this amazing box set. So essentially, to kind of sum it up without spoiling too much, the Master manages to manipulate basically an entire colony to his own very devious ends through a very intricate scheme, and it's just, oh my god, it's so good. It's really difficult to describe it without spoiling it, but it's one of those stories where it's just, when you get to the end, it's like, oh my god, he really, really planned this, didn't he? It all comes together at the end. It's like, wow, that's really clever. And then you kind of see how the Master justifies it at the end, and what he gets out, and it's just like, oh my god, what a bastard. But you can't help but admire him. And you can't help but still be charmed by him. And I'm still going to be charmed by him in the very next story I listen to, which hopefully I'll be buying that when it comes out in July. And just, Derek Jacobi's Master, man, deserves so much praise. He is so brilliant in the role, and he owns it here. He really owns it here, because you can just sense almost the danger on occasion in the kind of the sweet old man persona he puts on. He manages to just kind of hint at it, but in a way that's imperceptible to somebody who doesn't really know what he's like. And I think that really shows the quality of acting they have with Derek Jacobi, because there's plenty of quality actors which work with Big Finish, but obviously a lot of they don't often get actors of this supreme quality, because Derek Jacobi, he's been a big name over the years, and he just plays the role with such perfection. It is criminal that he did not get more time on TV, but to be fair, would they have written this well, and would it really, would you be able to explore this character, really do as much of this character on TV as you would in the audio format? So maybe not. Maybe it is good that we're getting him on audio, because it's really getting to show just what they can do with this character, and what this actor could do with the character, because it is absolutely outstanding. The Master of Callus is brilliant from start to finish. It has a great atmosphere. It is extremely entertaining. It is just so devious. I'm just struggling with words to describe it, because again, as I said, I don't want to spoil it, but Derek Jacobi's Master, really up there. The War Master, he might well be my favourite Master, and even just talking about it is kind of convincing me more and more that maybe, just maybe, I need to unseat Delgado. And it's a difficult thing to do, because obviously there's so much emotional weight among Doctor Who fans that we attach to Roger Delgado. And it's difficult to kind of get out of your mind that, oh yeah, he's the best Master. I mean, I know not everybody agrees with that, but I don't know, yeah, I just think he is. There's so much good writing that's went into him, so much good acting, because Derek Jacobi is just, as I said, a supreme actor. I just can't wait for more, and I cannot recommend these two sets enough. Go out and buy them. They can be a bit dear, I know, but they're worth every penny. Seriously. Big Finish has done a brilliant job with these ones, and there's a lot of modern Big Finish I know where people who rave on about how good the box sets are, and then how good the box sets are. You listen to them, it's like it was all right. It's not the case for these two. These two really are something different and something really well done, and I love them. And that's why my first video back after all these exams and stuff, I had to make it a video on this, because listening to this was the first kind of Doctor Who I'd really watched or listened to in a while, and it just completely reinvigorated me to go like, wow, okay, I need to make a video on this, at least once my exams are over, and I need to watch more Doctor Who, I need to listen to more Doctor Who. It was just like, the moment I listened to that, it's like, oh my god, it's not like I fell out of love with the show or anything. It was just, when you've got the weight of coursework and exams, it kind of, crushes down your hobbies and stuff like that. And this just allowed me to rediscover it after a short break because of all of the work. And my god, what a great thing to come back to. What a brilliant thing to come back to. So don't watch it because you can't. Listen to the War Master box sets 1 and 2. And box set 2 is definitely the best one, Master of Cats. But you do need to listen to box set 1 first, because obviously it introduces everything, and Skyman. Skyman is a must listen. It's one of the best Big Finish, one of the best Doctor Who stories ever. And I really cannot wait for more of these. And we get to see him go up against Paul McGann the next set. And in the 4th set, there's a brilliantly titled episode, it's by Alan Barnes, The Master's Dalek Plan, which I thought was quite witty. So, yeah, extremely looking forward to those new sets. Listen to the War Master. Derek Jacobi he's the best master. I've finally convinced myself. Sorry, Delgado, I love you. It's been a good ride, but Derek Jacobi's the best master now. Simple as that. And if you disagree with me, well, you're wrong, because I'm right, as you know. I'll see you back next time in another video, when you will have listened to the War Master, or else.